Hello, everyone, and welcome to another broadcast of Northwest Georgia Cryptics. I'm joined tonight by Mr. Blake Duckworth, my co-host. Glad to have old Blake back. He's played hooky on us here for a couple of weeks, but
Hey, I
we
was
got.
on. I was on. I was on last week.
Well, yeah, you were on last week. Okay.
Yeah, and I jumped on Friday. So I didn't get
Yeah.
home until after we had already started.
All right, buddy. Go ahead and open her up.
As always, guys, I hope everyone's doing well. I like to give a thanks to all our veterans since tomorrow's Veterans Day. Thank you, Ricky, yourself.
All right.
And as always, guys, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, like, and a comment, and that'll be all, Ricky.
All right, everybody. As Blake says, tomorrow is Veterans Day, so a vet, give them a warm welcome, uh, and give them a hearty thanks for all their service. Tonight we have Trina from Middle Tennessee, her and her husband on the show. Uh, they're doing a live stream from, I think they said their boathouse. Uh, been having some weird stuff going on up there, so let's bring them on and we'll give them the floor.
Howdy.
How's it
Hi,
going, guys?
y'all, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Blake.
You guys been doing okay?
We're doing great.
Other than
Doing fantastic.
other than the mishaps going on the property.
There's always something going on exciting up here. A lot of it has to do with the food source. There's a lot of food for
Sorry, we have a
predators. Yeah, you can hear them.
Oh yeah, they are loud there, aren't they?
They are. Like I said, you can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah, definitely no mistaking.
We were
Well, the
talking
latest
about the we
incident.
were talking about the deer carcass that y'all found. Would y'all care to elaborate a little on that?
Yep.
All
Sure, I
right,
was
the
walking
floor
my
is y'all's.
dog.
Go
This
ahead.
is probably a week ago. Yep, we were walking my dog, and we're going down by this, swampy, woody area. It's got a pond way out in the middle of it. A lot of deer running around. There's deer all over this place. And we're walking along, and I see this deer laying there, and it's laid out, and its neck's broke. And there's no marks on this deer, nothing. And whatever killed it right there and left it there. And that was the only injury on the deer, was its neck was broke. So we, say, hey, the coyotes will get it and, leave it there. So I walk around, and we go out in the afternoon, walk the dog again. Deer's still there, nothing's touched it. Go out the next day, next morning, that thing is ripped clean in half. Like something had literally pulled it apart and left the rear end of the deer on one side and then the other half on the other side, and all the guts and entrails gone out of that animal. So we leave it, took pictures, left it, come back third day, the legs are literally been pulled out of the socket. You can see the bones like pulled right out and the legs are laying there. The deer is completely eaten. It ate every piece of that deer, and it pulled the carcass, or the hide, right up over the skull, all the way up over the skull, and it ate everything on it.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this: since cooler weather has set in, has the
Oh
uh,
yeah,
has the activity around your place up there seemed to have increased or decreased?
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's increased for sure.
We find tracks. You'll find hair. You'll find, the deer are real skittish. They're all over the place moving around. We got some nice bucks running around too.
So, do you guys keep? I mean, what you said for as hair aspect, do you ever
Yep.
gather any of the hair?
Oh
We
yeah.
did. We gathered the hair. We gave it to a friend of mine here in town, and they're having it analyzed. I got to follow up with him and see what happened with that, because that hair, that was a big old gob of hair caught in a pine tree, and we grabbed that hair and put it in a baggie. It smelled terrible, and we delivered it to our buddies at GRS, the GRS team, and gave it to them to analyze.
Can you describe what it looked like? Like what type of hair? What
It was gray. It was grayish, kind of kinky hair.
It was very coarse.
Very
I think I
coarse.
sent.
Yeah. You had pictures you sent.
Yeah, I sent Rick pictures.
Well, how long were the strands of hair?
Pretty long.
Yeah, they were.
When he says kinky, it was.
It was kinky. Smelled. It was kind of.
I don't know. It was just really
I don't know.
coarse. It was very,
weird
very.
I remember those pictures that y'all sent us.
Nappy.
I'd say the
nappy's a good word.
The hair Blake was probably, I'm going to say, maybe 6, 8 inches in length.
Yeah,
that's about right. Yeah. I was going to say 3 to 5, but that sounds about right.
And it was a good
chunk of hair.
Chunk of hair like this.
I think it got tangled in the pine tree.
You say it was a grayish color?
Yeah.
It was grayish, like a.
My husband's colorblind.
Well, I am colorblind, but I'm pretty sure that was gray. I mean, it looked coyote gray to me.
I don't know. It was.
What color would you say that was, Ricky?
I'd say a blackish gray color. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gray.
It definitely had some black in it.
There was black in it. It was mainly grayish.
Tracks all around that area too.
Yeah, I got pictures of tracks. I think we sent you all some.
Oh yeah.
Ricky, do you have any of the pictures you can put up, or?
Blake, I don't have any of them posted to the thing tonight. I don't think.
We can resend you all those pictures. They're pretty good. We got tracks, good set of tracks coming out of one part of the area, walking over. They always go near these pine trees. I don't know what their draw is to these pine trees, but they like them.
How big were the tracks?
There were different size tracks. The biggest one was probably all of 17 inches, maybe 18 inches.
Yeah, I mean, I have a tiny foot, but most of the pictures, they were typically compared to my feet.
I have a size 11, and it dwarfed my foot.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course,
so when you say different size tracks, so how big do they differ?
Well, I wear a size 6, and they're all way bigger than my foot.
Yeah, well, there's some smaller tracks.
But there's huge. I mean, we've seen some.
There's big ones, but
like
there's also
ginormous tracks.
Like I would say, like a size 12 or a size 14 shoe track too.
Shoots.
Well, it looks like it's a foot clearly, but it's that size. But there's some monster tracks, some big ones.
Well,
there's definitely the last track I sent Rick was ginormous, and
but they come out of
my front door.
They all come out of the area of the river, and they must hunt the deer through here, and then they go back towards the woods right behind us where we're at now. And that's the path of travel is that way from the river going back to the woods.
And that's all your guys' property, correct? Like there are no other, they shouldn't be any other humans down in the area.
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely no other humans in that area. They avoid the security lights.
Yeah, they're smart.
They do, because I put up some new security lights and
keeps them away from the house.
Yeah, it does, but not by the tiki.
The tiki house.
Oh my God! By the tiki house,
put
that light will flip on and I'll look up there and nothing's there. I'm like, hello.
Yeah, if we put another one on the side facing the water, they won't come near it.
Oh, for sure.
We notice they avoid security lights. They do not like them.
And they avoid cameras.
Do you guys
because I
have any
believe they
trail
can
cam?
see the
Do you
infrared
guys
beams.
have any trail cams on your property, or
We do.
you do?
Yep, sure do.
Never got a
Occasionally.
glimpse of anything, or
I mean, you get a glimpse, but typically it's so fast or just such a
yeah,
big
they're no
stride. That's pretty
definition.
much
Yeah.
all. Yeah, no definition. I've done better taking pictures than
The only picture we ever got on a trail cam was like a glimpse of like their hair hanging down off an arm. That was it,
and that shadow.
and a shadow. That's
There
it.
was a shadow standing over the Explorer that one day.
Yeah,
Like you could clearly see a full figure, and I'm like, whoa.
that's about it though. You never
Well,
get
I
much.
mean, it's one of those things. If they can truly see our lights infrared, then I mean, they're not going to walk in front of one. They're going to walk behind a trail cam.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I believe that. I truly do.
I mean, it's not that if you can see the infrared, it's not hard to avoid them. I mean,
Right, that's like the security light or security cameras that I have up around my place here. Uh, I mean, pitch dark outside. Man, you can see the lights off those things for a good 100 yards away. They're
Oh wow.
farther.
Oh, yeah.
so have you guys
You
had
can
anything
definitely
else? I
smell
mean,
more of them.
any? You guys, I can't remember. Do you guys have a lot of vocalizations there, or?
Not this place. Not like the other one. I mean, we hear whoops once in a while. You hear them whoop. And you hear some whistling, and that's about it.
Oh yeah.
The other place was extremely vocal.
The loudest that I heard it's when we first put up, just like 2 weeks ago, we put up some more security lights around the house because I've always just kind of left the back porch light on or whatever. So this particular night, this was the first night I'd actually cut my back porch light off, just leaving my security cameras, just letting them pick up whatever. And I'm out on the back porch, and it's like the second I cut that light off and walked out on the back porch, I heard this huge whoop, and then I heard another whoop closer to the house, and I was like, ooh, there my neck stood up, and I went and flipped that porch light back on. I was like, yep, leave this on while I'm outside.
It's not like the property up in the mountains.
Oh no, the property up in the mountains, though,
They are
oh
vocal.
my gosh.
No, I've got to
Scream,
ask. Have you
holler.
ever tried just doing a howl and getting responses, or you just leave that alone?
On the mountain we do.
Oh yeah, on the
Done it
mountain
here.
we do all the time, but not here.
The mountain you can definitely like whoop and holler or scream, and they'll scream back. They'll tree knock. They'll throw rocks.
Oh, they've thrown boulders.
Yeah, big rocks.
Here I've gotten, little things thrown, but nothing.
Not like those rocks. I mean, they threw a rock at me and my dog one time. It was as big as a damn football. That thing came tick, tick, tick. You could hear it coming down the mountains through the trees. Tick, 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 tick. Whoop, right on the ground. I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah,
You can get them riled up pretty easy up there.
me and Ricky's had some pretty big rocks thrown at us, so it's kind of nerve wracking when you get a 20-pound rock coming towards you or heavier.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, very much.
I'm sitting here, people are like, oh, they throw pebbles. I'm like, pebbles my eye. That thing was as big as a football. Zipping, and to throw that, from the top of the mountain all the way down to where I was with the dog, that's a hell of a throw. You couldn't even, there ain't a football player alive that could have thrown that thing like that.
Especially with that weight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
That's right. Blake and I had
like
an encounter a few years back down at the lake we go to, and this thing was hurtling basketball-sized rocks from 60 foot in there, or 60 yards, I guess, in the wood line, over and down through a treetop where we were standing, and these rocks were landing like
Can you imagine?
3 and 4 feet around us, but never touched us.
Well,
You imagine the force those things are able to throw something like that?
Well, that's just like you talk.
I mean, that's
That's just like you
incredible.
talking about the deer. Man, can you imagine what type of
Yeah,
strength it actually took for something, to destroy a deer like
to
that?
rip a deer. Yeah, I was thinking about that when I walked up upon that thing and saw the hide was ripped right over the skull, and I'm thinking, man, I've skinned a ton of deer out in my lifetime, and I would love to have actually been able to get down to that level. You pull the hide over the head like that, but you can't do it. And I'm a strong guy. There's no way you could do it without a winch or something. You'd have to have a incredible power to pull a hide over like that.
Right. Well, I run taxidermy shop for 20 years, and I also done deer processing, and I know exactly where you're coming from. It takes incredible strength. I had two eye boats mounted into the concrete, and would take clamps and clamp onto those eye boats, clamp the hide onto the eye boats, and then use a winch to winch that thing off. And
Yeah,
I used I think it was like 1,000 pound winch that I used, and even those things have problems getting hide off.
exactly. You imagine, yeah, the force it took to do that. Not only that, but just to pull the legs out of the socket. That's just what blew my mind. Like they just stacked those legs right there like it was nothing. It's funny.
And
That's the
that's
only
what
part they didn't eat was the lower leg.
that's what I tell people. When they go into the woods looking for these things, thinking they're going to encounter a soft, cuddly teddy bear out there. Well, with the strength these things have got, you know, and we do not know. We don't know what sets one of these creatures off. We really don't. We do.
Nope.
We do not know. The breaking point, or even just walking into the woods where they're at. We don't know if that's
well,
going to set them off.
well, we do have enough evidence that they just don't, in general, attack people. Because we
Nope.
would have a lot more. Yes, you have like missing 401 and stuff like that, but that's a whole nother subject in itself. But
Hmm.
I mean, I think that it goes back to my whole theory. I think 90% of the time when somebody has a aggressive encounter with one is they are young in the area.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
you get in
not
their
I'm not
territory. I mean,
not
they mark their
they're as
territory.
powerful as they are. And as elusive they are. All it takes is one getting mad,
Oh,
or I shouldn't say mad, more like territorial type circumstances. I mean,
or protective.
protective, exactly. I don't think.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know. This is just from my experience in the woods. And as close as I've been, I don't think they're just going to attack you for no reason.
Nope. Nope. And they do mark their territory pretty clearly in the woods.
Yes.
You'll find trees ripped up by their roots, shoved in the ground upside down. That's them.
Oh yeah, Blake and
They'll
I
tell you
found
to
that
stay
before
out.
ourselves. And
The Xing of logs.
Yeah.
it's really a strange feeling when you
Yep.
go when you go into the woods and you find a tree that's 8, 10, 12 inches in diameter, that's 20 foot long, 30 foot long, and this thing has been ripped up out of the ground by the roots, turned upside down and shoved
Yeah.
back down in the ground 3 and 4 feet. I mean, yeah, that really unnerves you. Blake and I've been doing this for.
It is.
I've been doing it for the last 40 years. Blake's been doing it for the last 10, 15 years, and you know, it will actually unnerve you when you walk into the woods and you find something like this, because
Oh, I've had him do it.
it shows the sheer strength that these animals possess, and you're sitting there thinking, you're out there and you're in their home, and you're out there with a 6 to 8 foot, 10 foot creature that weighs 800 to 1,000 pounds, that's got arms on him like a linebacker, and
Oh yeah.
you're and it actually makes you stop and think, man, why am I out here doing this?
Well, that's
Yep.
going back to not knowing their exact behavior of if they're going to be in a bad mood that day or what's going to happen. That's the reason. Like when I follow my gut instinct when I'm in the woods. Like if I don't feel right, I don't stay in the area. I mean,
Nope.
you back out because you're getting that feeling for a reason. I mean, is even after all these years of doing it, being in the woods and all the encounters I've had, it's still. I mean, you got to respect them. You got to.
You
If you
gotta
don't,
respect them.
that's when you're going to have problems.
You gotta look for
You'll
signs
get
of them too,
yeah.
Well, as
and
Bama
avoid
put it
their
here,
area.
Bama says they will normally warn you if you're paying attention.
Yeah,
Well, that's
that's the rock totem.
Exactly.
That's that
right.
that is bluff
Yeah.
behavior is what it is.
I was hunting
But that's
property
that's
back.
one reason that Blake and I do this show. That's one reason Blake and I do this show every week is the fact to get it out to the people that these creatures do exist. They are out there,
Yep.
and to kindly give them a little recognition of the warning signs that these creatures do create when you go into the woods. A lot of people, man,
And
if you take somebody that's never encountered one of these things, and they go out into the woods and they get a rock the size of your fist whizzed by their head at 30 mile an hour, they don't know what's going on.
Yep. That's true. And I've had them play with me when I've been bow hunting in a tree stand. They'll throw pebbles at me, and then I'll look behind the creek on the other side of the woods, and catch glimpses of something moving through the brush. And I think they just do that to be playful. But then I've also had them, snap off huge branches and throw them in my path and tell me, basically telling me get the hell out of their area. And I do. I get out quickly.
I think this is just a theory, but I think a lot of times with talking about the playful behavior, I think a lot of that is younger. I don't want to say necessarily
yes,
juvenile, but I mean not
Young
your
ones.
huge big
Yeah.
males. I mean,
No.
that is.
That could be.
No, I
I
think if you
agree.
go in,
Could be young ones.
I think if you go into the woods and you encounter a full grown male of this species, and he doesn't want you there, he's gonna let you know right quick like that you're not welcome.
we we had a security team. These heavy hitters, they're all ex-Green Berets and Navy SEALs, and they were keeping guard over us. And it was, I don't know what time of night it was, in the morning, but a big male alpha male came down the ridge and screamed, and they said it made the hair on the back of their neck stood up. They said they couldn't believe it didn't wake us up because it was so loud. And I get out there, and these guys all got their guns up on the mountain. They got chem lights just strewn, dozens of chem lights everywhere, trying to light up the woods and see if they could catch it crossing. And they were scared, and they became believers that night. I mean, instant believers in Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, I had this argument.
Remember
Yeah.
that young kid?
Oh yeah. That.
He goes, I turned into a daytime bow hunter because he was going to go out that morning at 4 a.m. and go bow hunting. He goes, I am bow hunting from 12 to 2. That's my new bow hunting hour. It scared the hell out of him. And it's funny because he's stripping out of his body armor. I go, what are you doing? He goes, this shit'll slow me down. If that Squatch comes down here, I'm running.
He's like, I don't need body armor.
Yeah, remember that?
I'll take a gunshot first.
Yeah. Scared the hell out of him.
Guys, believe me, I've seen these things run, and you're not going to outrun them. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
No
Sir.
way.
No, sir, you're not. I've seen them run too.
Nope. They are wicked fast.
Yeah, if they want to catch you, they're going to catch you.
They actually, the one that ran across the ridge on the mountain, that thing was more like, it was like going on all fours, like hop, like this weird lunging, wicked fast bunny hopping type of thing. It's the weirdest thing I ever seen. It was definitely a squatch. I mean, it was no bear or nothing. It was huge, booking.
Well, you take a bear. You take a bear, for instance, in this part of the country. A bear can run just as fast uphill as it can downhill.
Yep.
Because of the leg structure on them, the body structure, and I'm sure that's.
But they're not bouncing when they're running.
And I'm sure that's the
this
same
thing
thing.
Was.
I'm sure that's the same thing, with Sasquatch.
They swim. Traina asked if Sasquatch swims. I said, I bet they do. I've seen them come out of the water. They swim.
I'm just thinking I'm sitting right here close.
Sorry, I got my 10 millimeter. Let him come out. Be the last time he does that.
I got my Hellcat, but that ain't.
I wonder how, talking about swimming, I wonder how long they can hold their breath for.
That's a good question.
I wonder that too, because I actually I was telling my husband this when we were driving down here. I was like, oh yeah, the dock got
moved.
The dock got shifted again, but this time, like where the plug is up on it's like completely near about ripped. I don't know what done it, and the PVC that holds the cables going up to the boat lift, it's completely bent.
Is it really?
And I'm like, huh. It's almost like something grabbed a hold of it to pull herself out of the water, but I don't know.
I think they can hold their breath for a long, long time because they're built like Olympic swimmers.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
They got those big old feet.
There's some humans out there that can hold their breath for very impressive times. Their lung capacities, no telling how much more than ours. I mean, heck, they may hold their breath for 5, 6, 7 minutes, no problem. I mean,
well, a Navy SEAL can do that. Yeah, so I imagine a Sasquatch could probably hold his breath 30 minutes. I bet they could hold it for at least 30 minutes. Yeah.
Well, Blake, that night that one screamed at us from the hill down there when we were in the boat with the lung capacity that sucker had, he could have probably held his for 30 minutes to an hour. I'm telling you what, I've never been so scared in my life. And I've been doing this for 40 years. That sucker, he screamed out.
Wow.
We were sitting like 20 foot off the bank in a boat. This thing was right up in the edge of the wood line on top of the bank. And Blake done a yell, and just as soon as he done a yell, this thing screamed out. I'm telling you what. You can ask Blake. I didn't know where to go. I really didn't.
Wow.
All I know is I'd get
the hell trapped out of that in a boat.
We were in a boat, yeah.
Yeah, Ricky was going somewhere. I don't know where he was going, but I look back and he's about to jump in the water. I'm like, what are you doing?
I was getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, talking about that. This was during the day. This was probably about an hour or so before dark. I mean, it was starting. Sun was starting to go down, but there was still plenty of daylight left. And I don't know how far. The bank probably wasn't probably a 30-foot bank to where it plateaus at the top. And
wow,
this thing was right on top of that plateau where you couldn't see it. I mean, if that bank would have been any shorter, you'd have been able to. It was right there. If he wanted to jump over.
Was he throwing rocks at y'all?
No. It was quiet. We'd been back in there for probably, 20 minutes. Not a sound. Didn't hear nothing. And done a couple of howls, nothing. We're just sitting there and do another howl and got a response. And this thing was literally on top of us. How long it had been there, have no clue, because we heard nothing before the howl.
Sorry, we have a jet going over.
Red jet going over. I'll tell you, they are the masters of camouflage.
So he was either, or she, or it was either very quiet and was not there the whole time, or this thing was literally just sitting there watching us for 20, 30 minutes.
I think it was watching y'all for sure.
Because there were no movement before,
That's
no
what I
movement
that
after.
that's what I tell people. They'll go into the woods looking for these things, and one you could actually walk right by a tree, and these things weighing 600-800 pounds standing behind a 12-14 inch tree, and you never see it.
Oh yeah, I think that's why they like these pine trees and these big trees here, Ricky, because they're so big they can step behind them and disappear. You would never see them.
And
They are, they're
it's
masters of
amazing how these
camouflage.
things blend in.
That's what they're masters of camouflage. They use their natural
Yeah.
surroundings to disappear.
And I believe that's more. I
Yeah.
believe that is more of what they do than what people claim. If they see these things cloak or whatever, they walk out of thin air. I think it's just their natural
Yeah.
ability to be able to blend in with what's around them is what makes people think this.
I believe it.
I don't know what to believe when it comes to like that aspect, because I have talked to some very credible people that swear by what they've experienced. So I'm not going to discredit the cloaking aspect. It's just I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. So it's like
Well, I've seen them uncloaked, that's for sure.
that's what I'm saying. It's they have something that we just don't understand.
Hey, we're gonna meet y'all for
Yeah, who knows?
like
Maybe they
just.
possess. Go
I'm
ahead,
gonna
Trina.
throw you guys on mute for just a second. I'm gonna move this 4x4 back up towards the house because we got something creeping up on us.
Yeah, we're gonna move up back towards the house. Just hang on a second.
Okay.
We're just gonna mute the
Hey,
mic
Brandon,
while we move out.
you
Okay.
push that.
I got stuff moving in the woods over here next to me.
Hey, with them woods you got behind you over there, there's no telling what's in those
Skunk,
things.
skunks, possums, and cats. That's can't tell you how many skunks or possums and skunks I've seen just sitting here, and they literally walk right here beside the house, like 15 foot from me.
You're gonna be out there one of these nights, no Sasquatch gonna walk around inside the house. And then what are you gonna do?
I've never heard anything over here other than coyotes. But they are a lot of land over here, so I don't know. Possibility. I know that there are panthers here.
Right? Yeah, I know they're there.
Or what? Well, let me rephrase that. Was here. I don't think. I think that one that was here in the area was just passing through. But
We had some whooping and we decided to get the hell out of there. That's too dark down there.
Yeah, the window on this 4x4 was starting to fog up real bad too. So I was like, I can't see in front of us anymore. I'm out.
Bama Bigfoot says it's
Much better up here.
Bama Bigfoot Blakey was talking about the skunk. He posted it's skunk breeding season here. They're all over the road.
look, I don't even. I hate skunks. I hate skunks.
Yeah.
When Clifford got sprayed, bro, that was the worst experience in the world. That was so bad. My
Oh, no doubt.
my beagle basset got sprayed by a skunk a couple years ago, and that was it was bad. I swear our house smelled like skunk for good month and a half. I mean, it was. He smelled better before our house did. It's sprayed. I mean,
What
it
were
got
you using
sprayed.
on Ryder?
Tomato juice.
See, we
And
tried.
something
Okay,
else.
so
Was it Bonner's?
he
You
got
washed him with
sprayed
a
on
bunch
our
of stuff.
car,
Oh yeah.
right off our carport. And my dad's friend was out here with him, takes him right in the house after getting sprayed. So like that fresh spray right immediately in the house. We washed him. I think where we messed up is we washed him with water first. And I've heard with the tomato juice, you just put the tomato juice straight on them. But
Yep.
nothing worked. I mean, it just had to go away, and it was. I felt so bad because he's my baby. Like he sleeps with me. No. He was not allowed in my room for at least a couple of weeks.
Oh my god.
Holly would be heartbroken.
Oh god, ours would definitely be heartbroken.
No, he didn't. He didn't understand.
Dad.
We have
Yeah.
one.
That's funny.
We have one come out through the front yard here every now and then. Man, I'll tell you what, you go outside, it'll run you back in the house real quick.
It's one thing to smell skunk when you ride down the road or smell the spray, because when one sprays, it definitely, when it's close, smells different. But experience up close, like, not it's horrible. It's so bad. It's like our house smelled unhealthy. Okay, like, I hate to say that,
Yep.
but it smelled like nuclear warfare. Okay.
They are rough. Oof.
For sure.
Yeah. We were kids. We trapped one by accident. We ended up burying the skunk and the trap. Left them both there, killed the thing, and buried it. Like, hell no. I couldn't even stomach it to get the trap off. I was like, oh, hell no, we're burying it right
Actually
there.
be sweet animals. I don't know, but
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna get
Don't
close
want to
enough
know.
to want to find out whether he's sweet or not.
it's like people get their
Me either.
their glands took out where they can't spray, then keep them as pets. Like,
That's what I was going to say. I think I recall seeing a video on YouTube or something one time where people
But
actually had them as pets. And I was like,
how are you
Oh,
going to
hell
go
no.
about that? Like, how does that process work of you capturing a skunk, getting it to the place to get the glands removed? How many people are getting
Without being
sprayed in this
sprayed.
process?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what,
yeah,
folks.
exactly.
You do not, and I'll reiterate this to everybody. You do not want to skin a badger out because a badger has a
Nope.
scent gland in their tail area that is just like a
Nasty.
skunk.
Yeah.
I made that mistake
Yep.
in my taxidermy shop a few years back,
Woo.
and my shop was like Blake's house. You couldn't stand to go in the shop for 2 weeks after that. Yeah, they're bad.
That's funny.
Now I don't know if a badger is able to actually spray like a skunk is, but believe me, you cut into that scent gland and you know it.
Well, it might be some type of defense
Them
where
honey
he gets
badgers
hit
are
by
able to do that.
something or something like that, and it punctures that scent gland. It might be something that keeps, meant to keep things from eating it or something like that. I mean, I don't know, but
Well, hey, I've got
Honey
close to these
badgers have
things.
the ability to spray.
I've got close to them things out west
They're
when
like
they
a
out there
skunk.
deer hunting, and believe me, I don't think there's nothing on four legs that's going to hurt a badger. I really don't.
Mm-mm.
Those are one of the meanest suckers I've ever seen in my life. I was literally chased out of the Far Hole River trout fishing out in Yellowstone National Park by one of those things one morning right at daylight. And
Wow.
that thing run me for about probably a mile and a half back up to the Old Faithful Inn, and
Mm-hmm.
hey, I would have give him all the Yellowstone. I'm telling you what. I gave him all the clearance he needed.
So what were you saying earlier about the lights that you were seeing?
Mm.
The lights.
Or
There you go. That's all
something?
you,
Yeah.
kiddo.
Yeah. So, well, we see them. Well, not every night, but see them quite often. They're definitely not a plane. I have flight tracker on my phone because I've questioned, like what in the world, and I've
But
sent
by the
pictures
way they
and
move,
video before where they just, I mean, they just sit there
or move real
or they
rapidly
move really fast
and erratic.
and erratic and
Yeah.
just crazy, crazy ways.
No
A lot of
aircraft
the
turn like that.
times when it really catches my attention is when they're just sitting there and it's got multiple colored lights flashing on it or whatever. Usually, if I take a picture of it, it just shows up a bright orange or a bright red. Um, I have gotten to where I can do video of them and I'm getting better with it. But I sent a video of Rick, what,
Twinkle
2
at
weeks
that.
ago? 2 or 3 weeks ago that was pretty impressive. So basically, that's what I'm seeing all the time.
Hmm.
I don't.
What about drones? What about drones in your area up there? Could it be drones? I mean,
We see them.
Yeah, we've seen drones out here, but they're different. They're not like this. They're
Well, and I mean, does it appear to be pretty high in altitude? Yeah, I mean,
it does.
I doubt it's a drone. I mean,
Um, to me, way higher than a drone could go.
yeah,
But I mean, I know there's
Well,
drones that can
military drones go
military
high.
drones and stuff.
yeah, but also, I mean, I don't know if they may be a height limit with you having the airplanes coming to that area too when it comes to drones. So
That's what I would think is, and I did do a little bit of homework on that in our area. Curious, mainly because somebody was flying a drone right at my back one day, and I was like, "That's not up."
all right, Trina,
Really?
Bama Bigfoot asked, do you see any orbs in the woods there?
I do. Quite often.
Quite often.
Mhm.
What color are the orbs that you see? Are they just white
White.
round lights or?
I have seen light. I have seen like a orangish yellow, and I've seen a blue, like a real pretty blue. I can't even describe the color, blue, turquoise, kind of. But I've only seen that maybe once or twice.
Well, I know in a couple of different
It's like a white.
research areas that Blake and I go to, we've encountered the orbs. Blake and them were over at Blue Ridge last year. I didn't get to go with them, but y'all actually encountered one over there that night,
well,
didn't you,
no, we
Blake?
didn't carry them the whole time we were walking down that dirt road. Um, they were weird. I mean, they were just little blue specks of light. Is the best way to
I, you
explain it.
Seen
know,
them before.
Like, and you're
I
almost
have got.
questioning if you're seeing them or not because, like, they're not big enough to like see like a lot of definition or anything like that. It's just little, like, I mean, bigger than a pinpoint, but I mean, maybe like yay big. They're not big at all. But we were seeing them
Mm-hmm.
all the way in and all the way out, and we all three were seeing them.
I have seen them. Um, there was one night. I may have pictures and even video of it because I was
Can you hear her, Ricky?
Uh-uh.
Something's going on. We can't hear you.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you now.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I mean, we've seen them so much. Like it's almost looked like somebody took a glow stick and hold on, I'm coming out of the garage. Like somebody took a glow stick and broke it or whatever and threw, like cut the tip
Yeah,
off
yeah,
and
yep, yep, yep.
threw it up in the air. And it's just,
Yep, that's the only
I don't
time
know, but
I've
I've
ever
got
seen
video of
those.
that one.
Now, we've had, me and Ricky, I've only seen one other orb out in the field. Actually, where the lake we were talking about earlier, me and Ricky had been out in the cemetery and we were getting ready to leave, and where you pull up to,
Ooh.
depart, there a gate. So we were just had got in the car getting ready to leave, and all of a sudden I hear Ricky say, "What the heck is that?" A few other words in there, but what the heck is that? And I look up, and I mean, there's just this orb, probably about 20 foot off the ground in front of the tree line. It goes to the right and kind of makes some weird zigzag pattern. All of a sudden, it just shoots back to the left and just disappears. And I mean, it was a pretty big ball of light. I mean, it was probably, I don't know, probably 5 foot in diameter, 4 foot in the diameter. It wasn't super, super bright, but it was bright enough to see it.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I don't know about the orbs. I mean, conveniently, there are a lot of orbs in areas that they're Bigfoot activity, but I'm also a paranormal researcher. So, I mean, and like that orb we seen was in a cemetery. So, just conveniently has Bigfoot activity. But I don't know if
Sure it wasn't Dogman over there?
well, it's funny that you bring that up, but no, I mean, I personally
Because
had
Dogmen in cemeteries and orbs.
because I've actually had
Yep.
a physical sighting of a family of a juvenile, a male and a female at this location. But
Wow.
not far from there are a lot of talk of Dogman. Place called Kellogg Creek back in 2011, 2010. There were a lot of
I heard about that.
quote unquote, Dogman sightings and stuff. And we did have something happen last year down there at the cemetery. We were down there for an expedition, and we had some few other
Yeah.
people with us, and we'd cooked dinner, and we were sitting around the campfire, and it was pretty late. Me and Ricky were just gonna go walk in the cemetery, and the other guys and Ricky's grandson stayed back at camp, and we had our radios with us, and we get in the middle of the cemetery, and we did a couple howls, and I don't know if it was Rick, I can't remember if it was Ricky or myself that did a howl, and we got a response, and that's the best thing I can describe it as. Is it was like a laughing. It was canine to a certain extent, whatever it was, but it was not a coyote.
No, that was one of the weirdest rackets. That was one of the weirdest.
It was almost evil sounding. Like, I mean, it just had
Yep.
this just something otherworldly almost sound to it. Like, that like you're not supposed to hear that sound. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't think it was a Bigfoot because I mean I've never heard that type of vocalization. Talked to a couple people that said it could have been a juvenile Bigfoot. They've been some reports of howls and calls like that with juveniles, but I don't think it was a Bigfoot.
Mm-mm.
And it wasn't a coyote. It wasn't an actual canine for that aspect. I mean, way too loud and just way too evil sounding.
Loud and powerful.
Yeah. And just
Yeah, but
something in an
it was just
otherworldly
something that.
sound to it. I mean, it just, that's the best, that's the only way I know how to describe it. Go ahead, Ricky.
Oh, it was one of the most ungodly sounds that I've ever heard in my life. And I've hunted
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I've hunted these mountains in this area since I was 7 years old. And as I told Blake that night, well, it actually, the two of the guys that was with us, it scared them so bad that they got on the radio and hollered for us to come back to camp. And we got back down there to camp, and one of the older guys that was with us, Wayne, he was shook up. I mean, he had his gun
he
out.
had his fire. Yeah, he had his firearm ready to go. I
Yeah, he had
mean,
his firearm ready to go. It scared him so bad. And
I don't blame him.
I've
yeah,
never.
I don't know. I'm not the same thing. I'm not just scared of the dog man. That's the only thing I've ever had happen to me that was possibly that, and I don't know. I just listen to people's stories when it comes to that because I don't want to have an encounter. I ain't out looking for it, and I just know what people tell me.
They are one of the scariest things you'll ever encounter in your life. I'll tell you that.
I've seen one.
Yeah,
That
I've
was
seen them
upstate,
too. Yeah,
and that.
back home,
Oh yeah.
upstate New York,
What are these
Western
things?
New York.
I mean, what?
They're a werewolf. They're a giant freaking werewolf. They are huge,
It is the
powerful, heavy. I don't know if Sasquatch chases them out or they chase Sasquatch out, but I'll tell you what, there's never both in the same woods at the same time. But I've
Let
had
me
them
ask
come
you
up to my
this:
house. I got a footprint of one.
Are they the same creature that down in Louisiana that they call the rougarou?
I believe so.
I don't know. I don't know about that
I don't.
Lugaroo crap, but I know
Well,
these are evil. Like, just there's just something different about them. I had one creep up behind me one night and growl down at me because it was at least 2 feet above me, and I'm 5'11", and I'm 200. I was 217 pounds at the time. I mean, I was a big guy. And this thing, I was talking to a friend on the phone. I was walking the property at night and coming down where the pine trees are near the road, and I just felt like the hair in the back of my neck, like someone was right behind me, and this thing goes like this guttural, snarly, growly thing, and I ran. I saw the ATV in the yard. I ran, jumped on the ATV, and we had a machete on it. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get near a weapon. And I crank it on and spin it out, and you can just catch the glimpse of this thing running around the corner of the pine trees and running back towards the woods. And I chased it down. I couldn't catch up to it, but it scared the hell out of me. And we've encountered them there. One chased my son back in the house one night, and my son called me like 20 times. I wasn't at home. He called me like 20 times, Dad, 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 there's this huge wolf creature, and it chased him in the house. I was like, you got a freaking Beretta 12-gauge shotgun with deer slugs. Go kill it. These things are no joke.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't want to.
And they ain't afraid of you either.
I've never heard a good dogman encounter, so that's the reason
No.
That's something you never hear of a positive outcome.
No,
No,
they have a very huge. They got a huge, like wolf-like head. They got really long arms with long, long claws, and they're very muscular on the top half. They're weird looking on the lower half, but there's one right here. Oliver Queen, get down. Get off me. You gonna say hi? Ollie, get off me. You are something. But they're scary, boy. They'll scare the devil out of you for sure.
Gotta love the fur babies.
Yep. He's our protector, huh, buddy?
Oh yeah, this one
Mine
right
curled
here.
up in the chair here behind me.
Yours is a dog man.
Yeah.
He's got an attitude of one, no doubt.
A little evil guy. I'm sorry I give dogs such a hard time.
I am truly happy that it was
You were in the house though when you saw it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like something.
Was it standing in the driveway watching her?
Yeah, a security light came on and
Yeah.
it made me put out my cigarette real quick. I was like,
Say
that
hello
security
there,
light
baby.
came on, but nothing's coming around that corner yet. So I backed up and
Yeah.
went on inside and saw it through the kitchen
Say
window.
hello
And
there,
I
big
am
dog.
glad that the kitchen window was between us.
They scared the devil out of my daughter one night.
Say hello there,
Told her
baby.
not to go down to the barn at night with the horses.
Say hello there,
You know,
baby.
she would come in at like 10 o'clock at night to clean stalls and feed them and stuff.
Come here.
And I'd have to get up and, watch over
Say
because
hello there, baby.
the barn's far away from the house. And we heard howling and all kinds of racket down there. And she went down to empty the manure wagon on the ATV way down back by the creek. And I hear her screaming. I hear these things snarling, raising holy hell. And she's screaming. I run down there, and my son runs down there, and these things run off. And they were running around her, like circling her, and scared the shit out of her. She never went back. Sorry, I swore.
Oh, you're good.
They scared the hell out of her and myself and my son. And I shot at him, and I think that's the cause of the start of all that trouble back then. Is because I actually hit one of them, and all of a sudden we started having problems with them. They're very vindictive little shits.
Hey, look, there's one sitting in the sky over there.
Yeah. There's one of her lights right there sitting in the sky over there.
I don't know if I can do it.
Just gone. It's gone. Yeah, it took off. It's gone, baby.
I was going to show it to you. Well, that was quick. Yeah, I did that too. Maybe it'll come back.
Folks, we've reached the end of the hour here. Let's I'm gonna go ahead and close things out. Trina, I want to thank you and your husband both for being on the show tonight.
Our pleasure.
Hey, and y'all welcome back anytime.
Do you have any pictures of that hair by chance?
I've
Yeah.
got one on the computer, Blake.
we
I'll
have
send
it.
it to you.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay.
Awesome. And we'll follow up with our guys and see if that report turned out to be. And
Yep.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
definitely.
please do follow up on them and see what type of see if they got anything on the DNA on that, and let us please let us know back.
For sure, we'll do.
All right.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued with DNA when it comes to the hair.
You know, I know there's DNA out there for sure. I just think that it's kind of hidden.
Well, I mean,
Um,
the thing about it
there's
is,
a lot of
like,
things that are hidden
we
from
have
all of
found
us. And
we have found DNA that we can't explain what it is. We have nothing to match it with. All this DNA, all these hair samples that come back is say 90 something percent human, and then for some reason there's something that we can't connect that other 10% to. I mean, so
Yeah.
I believe that we have a lot of DNA evidence. It's just we have nothing to match it with. Well, we don't know
for
what the
sure,
other little missing link there is.
for sure.
So, therefore they say we don't have DNA because it's not classified as Bigfoot DNA, but we have unexplainable DNA. So you tell me what it is.
That's right. For sure. All right, well, guys, you have a fantastic night. Stay safe, and God bless y'all.
Well, I hope y'all have a great evening. Like Ricky said, y'all are welcome back
You
anytime.
too.
Do our little
Y'all have a blessed night.
follow up visits.
Yeah, as soon as y'all get something back on that DNA, just let us know, and we'll have you back on, and we'll explain it to our viewers.
For sure, we'll do that.
All right. Thank y'all. I want to thank everybody that's watched the show tonight, and everybody that'll watch it in the future. Blake, you want to go ahead and close us out, bud?
As always, thank you guys. And if you don't mind, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and bell notification. And like I said earlier, thank all you veterans for your service. Ones are veterans and continued or in active duty now. I hope everyone has a great night.
Thank everybody, and God bless. We get it turned off here, Blake.